Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Thursday, the first day of the month of May, 2025. It is Thursday of the second week of Easter. It is the 12th day of the Easter season, and we have just completed morning prayer here at the Franciscan School. And because it is May, one of our traditions here at the Franciscan School is to always crown the statue of Mary that greets everybody who comes into the Franciscan School. And it's always so bad because the sun is right in my eyes. But we had a wonderful May crowning ceremony. The statue of Mary is usually at the front doors of the school, and we had our Cracker Jack facilities people move Mary today to in front of the statue of Francis and Gubbio, and all the students brought in flowers to be placed in front of Mary. So we just done our honoring of Mary for the month of May to remember her and to remember her yes to God during this month. Our readings for today on this Thursday of the second week of Easter. Again, the apostles causing more and more consternation amongst the Pharisees and scribes and Sadducees about their preaching, which again, the Pharisees, scribes, and Sadducees say has all of Jerusalem in an uproar. Was it true? Maybe not, but it was in such a way that it bothered, again, the scribes and the Pharisees and their authority and what they believed was their mission from God, to proclaim to the people. And so, they have to stop. But Peter says, no, we're not going to. So again, Peter, the fool, doesn't get anything right. The one who's outrageous, the one who denies, everything else like that, again, gains a courage, through the Spirit that is descending upon him at Pentecost, whatever. He's able to say, we're not going to do this, because again, they throw it in their face constantly. Again, and this is where they're not winning friends in doing this, but the apostles throw it in the face of the Pharisees and scribes and the Sadducees all the time. This Jesus whom you hung on a tree, it's like you tried to dismiss him, and yet he won't be dismissed. He has risen, and we are not going to stop proclaiming. And again, it's because of their defiance, against this body of authority, within Judaism, and the body of authority within Judaism in Jerusalem. Again, the highest of all authority. How dare they defy, these individuals? And the leadership basically just screams, and they want to kill them and stone them. And we kind of stopped there with the reading at the moment. But it is this ardent refusal of leadership in Israel to listen to what it is that Jesus was saying now through the apostles, that Jesus is saying through the apostles. It's refusal to understand truly what has changed, and how everything has changed within the life, of those who dare to believe and have a relationship with God. Again, to challenge authority, this is something that we have to remember to do at times, because if we don't, sometimes the gospel can be muted or suppressed or stunted or whatever it is, because sometimes authority gets so caught up in authority and in maintaining authority, again, for the sake of the good, that it loses sight as to truly what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to serve as within a body of believers. The apostles were good Jews. I mean, they were people who looked to the promised fulfillment, of Judaism. They were not Christians, in a way that was different from being a Jew. But they were people who recognized that something different had changed, and they were not going to stop doing that, even if it meant running up against those whom they were taught never to question, whom they were taught never to say anything different about, who were considered kings, within the realm of religious life within Judaism. These apostles constantly challenge them because their ways, have lost effort. Their ways have lost power. Their ways have become nothing. They are not serving Judaism at all. And basically, the apostles are trying to show them a new way, and they won't see it. The gospel today continues again all this week. We are looking at Jesus' encounter with Nicodemus, and the discussion that has there. And again, there's just more and more of the distinctions between what Jesus is as opposed to what any other person who says they come in the name of God is. And so the sense in which the one who comes from heaven speaks of heavenly things, and the one who comes from earth only speaks of earthly things, which may be good, but are all limited. To speak of the heavenly things does not also mean that you put your head in the clouds only, and you're only thinking of heaven. But it's the idea always that you are aware of more. because that is what heavenly things open us up to. The more of our life here, the more of our life to come, the more of everything that God has created. And Jesus is trying to help Nicodemus realize that this is what he has come to do, is to open up the more that we're afraid of seeing, or that we're perhaps prohibited from seeing at times. This is what Easter, allows us to be able to see. The more about our life, the more about who we are as creations of God, period. Again, we may not always live our life well as creations of God, but we still are. And the more that we remember that, does it help us then to live our life the way that we should. Again, this great wonder of God saying, you are more than you see, you are more than you believe you are more than your actions or even what others think that you are. Be that more that I know that God says. Be that more that I created you to be. And out of that more, allow people to witness and realize the wonder and beauty of this world around us and the world to come. Continue blessed Easter season, St. Francis and people of God, and from our Marian shrine here at the Franciscan School, may the Lord give you his peace.